You're listening to the Shalom Sports Podcast with Jack and Gerald. Here's your host, Jack Myers and Gerald Hoover.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Shalom Sports Podcast with Jack and Gerald. I'm one of the hosts, Gerald Hoover, joined here by Jack Myers.
Yep.
8th grader now, Jack.
8th grader.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
High school next year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're excited to be on here today and the start of a new school year, new sports season, and PIAA, Jack.
Yeah, exciting.
Yeah, lots of new changes here in the athletics at Shalom Christian Academy. So we're going to try to get you caught up on what's happening and what's happening in the past, what's maybe upcoming, but lots to talk about today. And we're going to review the fall sports season here at Shalom, which includes 4 varsity on the girls' side, cross country, soccer, and volleyball. And then on the boys' side, cross country and soccer. And then in middle school, new this year, Jack, we have cross country, for both boys and girls, which is exciting, as well as volleyball and soccer for the boys. So we'll get started and we'll talk about that new sports team season for Shalom Middle School cross country. It's a co-ed team and it's led by Frank Bryant. So do you ever think you'd want to run cross country, Jack?
Well, it's so long.
It is.
Like 7 miles. What is it? How long is like a
No, I think varsity is 3.1, like a 5K, and maybe middle school's like 2 miles.
Yeah, but all the practices.
Oh, yeah. When you're practicing, you're running like 5-10 miles.
Yeah, so
not interested in that?
No.
Yeah.
Maybe like 1 or 2 miles, but I don't think I could get over like 5.
Yeah, that's a tough thing. But we do appreciate seeing our middle school boys and girls actually led by Frank Bryant, first year for that. And I think it's going to be a great feeder program to our varsity cross-country teams, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But having, those runners training at the middle school level, and then they'll be prepared for varsity going in. So I think it's going to make our varsity program a lot stronger going forward. Mm-hmm. And 14 members on the team, Jack. 7 boys, 7 girls, which is kind of interesting how it's split right down the middle.
Yeah.
And their schedule this year consists of 3 dual meets. So a dual meet is when you just race against one other school. And I think they have 3 of those. And then the invitational is kind of like a tournament where all these schools come together. It can be, multiple schools. Usually it's on a Saturday at a host school, and lots of people come out for that. So those are pretty exciting. And so our first ever middle school cross-country team will be in action this coming Tuesday, Jack, September 10th at West Shore Christian.
The thing about fall sports is they're over so quick.
Yeah,
they're
fall
over.
Sports happens.
Yeah, then basketball starts up right again.
That's right.
I think after fall sports.
I think maybe spring, maybe even a little quicker than fall, but the spring season or the fall season seems to go really, really quick. Basketball is always the longest season, but what else are you going to do in the winter when you can't be outside playing because it's too cold?
Nothing.
That's right. You can be inside just, lounging in front of the TV. So we try to keep everybody busy playing basketball. And we're not biased or anything. We don't really care for basketball.
Yeah, basketball's not our thing.
Yeah, that's right. So we're just teasing. We do love basketball, but we do like fall sports as well. So that's our middle school cross-country team. So now we're going to talk a little bit about the middle school girls volleyball team. They've already played 4 games, Jack. And what's their overall record?
Oh, they're 3-1, 2-1 in the MDCC.
Yeah, so having a great start to the season as head coach Drew Hoffman being assisted by Rebecca Zentz and Ashley Stotler. They were in action last night and got a home win against New Life after opening with a loss to Faith Christian Academy a couple Fridays ago. Winning the first game and then losing the next 2. So Faith Christian did an excellent job that night. But Shalom has won every game since then in the rest of their matches, went 2-0 in all those. So the roster is made up of mostly 8th graders, so a lot of experience on the team and coming off of back-to-back MDCC championships. So what happens when you win a lot, Jack? You put a target on your back, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's gunning for you.
Everybody's wanting to beat you.
That's right. Yep. So a lot of pressure this season for those girls, but I think they're going to have a successful season. And they're back in action this coming Friday, Jack, at Broad Fording. September 6th at Broad Fording, and then next Tuesday at Heritage Academy. So 2 away games coming up for the middle school girls volleyball team. Next, we're going to talk about the soccer team, the middle school boys soccer team, and what's their record, Jack?
Oh, they're 3-0, 2-0 in the MDCC.
Yeah, undefeated so far on
Yeah.
the season here for the middle school boys, led by head coach Jason Wenger. He's assisted by Brad Miller. I believe there's a few other assistants on the team, but they weren't listed on the website, so they don't get any recognition. If you're not on the website, you don't exist, right? And 19 boys on the roster this year, Jack. 12 8th graders and 7 7th graders. So pretty experienced in an older roster for our middle school boys. And when's their next game, Jack?
Oh, they play this Friday versus at Broadfording, and then Tuesday at Heritage Academy.
Yeah, so 2 road games just like the middle school girls. They're going to be on the road as well coming up here in their next few games. And we look forward and wish them the best of luck on the road as they head to Hagerstown for their next 2 competitions. So you're listening to the Shalom Sports Podcast with Jack and Jurl. We just summarized what's happening for the middle school sports teams in the fall, but we're going to turn our attention to varsity now.
So the middle school boys soccer, this is going back to the middle school boys soccer. They won every single game. They played in a Fanet Medal tournament.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, they won every single game in that, but they didn't let anybody score in that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they beat CVCS the other day.
So a couple good wins there for the middle school boys team. I know in that, I don't know if that's officially counts as games or not in that Fanet Medal tournament. They're abbreviated games.
Yeah.
It's more of like just kind of a early season scrimmage.
Like
just
warmed up for the season.
Yeah, get warmed up. But you did mention that CVCS game, and that was a really close game.
Yeah.
So it could be maybe those 2 teams battling it out towards the end of the season here.
Fun to watch.
Yeah, I think 3-2. I think we won that game, but both teams played really well. So on the varsity side, we're going to start with varsity cross country, led by head coach Nicole Diller. Her roster consists of 3 seniors, 4 juniors, 9 sophomores, Jack, and 2 freshmen. So
yeah, a lot of sophomores.
Yeah, so a pretty balanced team there, and looking forward to what they're going to do this season. They have had one race so far. It was the Enos Yeager Invitational this past Friday, along with a lot of the other Franklin County schools in the area, and that was hosted out at the Chambersburg Trojan cross country course at Falling Spring Elementary, and I know we had a good representation there for that. And what's their next race coming up, Jack?
They play Thursday, September 5th at James Buchanan High School.
Yeah, so I think that's going to be a dual meet up there at James Buchanan. Not sure if there's going to be any other schools involved in that, but right now it's going to be James Buchanan versus Shalom. And sometimes they do like a tri-meet, Jack, where they invite a third team in too. So it's kind of interesting how cross country is, but they're going to have a great season as well this year.
Yeah, my mom, she played cross country for Chambersburg when she was in high school. She went to Chambersburg, and every single time we go past there, like at Falling Spring, she's like, "Oh, that's where I ran cross country." So,
fun fact.
Yeah.
Guess who else ran cross country?
Mrs. Hoover.
Nope. Mrs. Hoover came here. We didn't have cross country back then, but you're close. Just take the S off. Mr. Hoover ran cross country 1 year, my sophomore year at Chambersburg. I ran cross country. It was actually the first year. The previous home course was up near Sunnyway, up on Radio Hill. Mm-hmm. This was the first year. I was at Falling Spring Elementary. Was the year I ran, and it was a very interesting and hilly course.
Yeah, my mom said there's like groundhogs all over. Yeah.
Yep. We had a good team back then, and our only loss was to Carlisle that year, which Carlisle's always strong in cross country. Mm-hmm. And the day we actually hosted Carlisle on our home course, and it was like all rainy and muddy, and so it was a very interesting run. But that was a long time ago, a very long time ago. So we won't say how long ago that was, Jack, because it was way too long. But back to Shalom Sports now. Varsity girls. They've played 4 games so far. So what's their overall record, Jack?
Well, they're 2-2.
2-2 so far on the season. I know it's a little bit of a different season for varsity girls. One, we're used to playing in the spring. Now we're playing in the fall because of PIAA.
Yeah, I know, and it's tough because they got to split. Like some players play both.
Correct.
And so it's tough because there's not many kids in like varsity girls at Shalom. So it's tough to split in one season.
That's right. So you're saying when you split, you're talking about volleyball.
Yeah,
so some girls who have previously played volleyball in the fall, soccer in the spring, now had to choose.
Volleyball is losing them. So Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's tough.
It does make it a little bit tougher, but they do have 22 girls on the roster, which I think is actually pretty good considering that you are splitting time or splitting some of the players having to make a decision between volleyball and soccer. But 7 seniors, 4 juniors, 6 sophomores, and 5 freshmen for head coach Bill Poe, and he's assisted by Jason Lewis this year. And Jason is our middle school girls soccer coach, which actually middle school girls soccer is still in the spring. So Jason's able to do both, be an assistant on the varsity team in the fall and head coach of the middle school girls team in the spring. So again, first season playing in the fall, it's a bit challenging. Also, higher level of competition for these girls where being PIAA now and being varsity girls soccer is a fall sport, we have a lot more options to choose from.
Yeah.
As far as competition, and I know they are they're holding their own though, and they have some games coming up soon here. Jack, where are they at and when?
So this Thursday they play home at versus West Shore Christian, and then Saturday at 4:30 they play Warrior Run High School.
Yeah, not sure where that's at.
I have no clue where any of these schools are.
I think I looked it up. I think it might be close to Williamsport, Pennsylvania.
That's yeah.
Home of the Little League World Series, by the way, which I always
Have you
enjoy
ever
watching.
been? Have you ever been to Williamsport?
Never been to Williamsburg. Have you?
No, I have not.
Yeah, I would love to go sometime. It looks really fun,
Yeah.
and
Or
I know.
especially for like the MLB game there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd want to go to that.
the last couple of
Yeah.
years they've added an MLB game. I think.
Yeah, I think
the
the Tigers played the Yankees this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I watched that game actually.
Fun, yeah, but always a fun environment up there at the Little League World Series. But I think that's where our varsity girls soccer team will be heading this Saturday. And new to the podcast now that we're PIAA, we have power rankings.
Yeah,
so
that's
hopefully
fun. That's
each
gonna be
week
really
we're
fun.
on the podcast, we're going to be bringing you our power rankings. So I was able to pull it up last night. And where does Shalom sit for the varsity girls soccer
So
team?
they're 7th place in the Single A District 3, and the top 8 make playoffs. So we're
Yeah.
hanging in there.
We are hanging in there. And I think I'm correct on the top 8. I need to confirm with AD Murray Roseman, but at the top of the power rankings, they tell it has each class, whether you're 4A, 3A, 2A, 1A, and I think it has how many qualify for each of those divisions. And that's where I'm getting the top 8. But we need to confirm that with Mr. Roseman next week, which, by the way, we're hoping next week to have Mr. Roseman, our athletic director, on the podcast so we can ask him a lot of tough questions then. So, Shalom holding their own in the PIAA. So now we're going to turn our attention to the varsity girls volleyball. And on the season, Jack, what is their record?
Oh, they're 2-1.
Yeah, 2-1 on the season so far, led by a new coach this year, Kirk Kraus. And he's assisted by Josh Diller and Caitlin Miller. So happy to have an all-new staff here at the volleyball coaches this year. And so we're pretty excited about that. Young roster, though, Jack. Did you notice that? So tell us.
Only
tell
one. They have 1 senior, 2 juniors, 3 sophomores, and 4 freshmen. So
so only 10 on the team, but it's a very young team, and the future's looking pretty bright as these girls are holding their own, and some great freshmen on the team. So they're pretty exciting to watch, and they're back in action when, Jack?
They play this Thursday at Trinity. And then this coming Tuesday at Fairfield.
Yeah, so just kind of like the middle school teams, our varsity girls volleyball team will be on the road here their next 2 games. And for the power rankings, Jack, in the PIAA District 3, where do they sit currently?
They're 8th place, and the top 10 make it to the postseason.
Yeah, so they're qualifying right now. I know it's early, but it's always good to be in that top 10, so you know that you qualify for the for playoffs, which is pretty exciting. So that wraps up varsity girls volleyball. Now we're going to turn our attention to varsity boys soccer, Jack. And what's their overall record?
Oh, they're 2-1-1, and they suffered their first loss of the season at home versus Calvary Christian.
Yeah, tough loss this past Friday night on the home field there, like you said, Jack, to Calvary, but a very tough Calvary team. And I know that was our boys' 3rd game, I think, last week, and it was really hot, so I'm sure they were probably drained. But taking nothing away from Calvary, they played really great in that game. Our head coaches for varsity boys soccer, again, Jeff Bouchel leading the team, and he's assisted by Simon Henry and Vish Jetnarayan. And we talk about power rankings again, Jack. Where do our boys sit for varsity soccer?
Oh, they're 9th place right now, and the top 12 make playoffs. So.
Yeah, so I think a little larger field for varsity boys soccer with the top 12 making the playoffs, and currently we're still within that top 12, so that's pretty exciting. And as the season goes on, we hope to stay in competition and stay in that power rankings high enough to qualify for the postseason, which not being in a league anymore, Jack, that's really only we don't have a league title to fight for anymore, so it's really just District 3, qualifying for the District 3, which is where our playoffs begin. And if
Do you know where they are at, or where like the championships, or like where the district championships
That's
are?
a good question. I know for basketball.
Yeah, I know. Giant Center. That would be so cool
Yeah.
if Shalom played in the Giant Center.
That would be pretty
like,
awesome.
that'd
I
be
think you have to
amazing.
at least get to the semifinals or finals to play at the Giant Center, where the first couple rounds, I believe, are at the higher seed, hosted by the higher seed. So, but I don't know exactly. Once you get deep into the soccer and volleyball playoffs and District 3 playoffs, I'm not sure where they're.
Yeah. Did
where
you
the
go
host
to
sites are.
the Chambersburg, the district championship?
I didn't make it,
Chambersburg?
but I was able to find it on a live stream. and
Yeah.
they did a well
I
job.
went there and we
Yeah.
watched it. Yeah, it was cool.
It was pretty exciting.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's always a fun environment down there at the Giant Center for basketball. But for volleyball and soccer, we'll have to. That's another question we'll ask the AD next week and see if he knows. You think he knows?
Oh yeah.
He thinks he's on top of it. So, yeah. So that's catches everybody up here at the fall sports season at Shalom. Anything else you want to add to the podcast, Jack?
So there's one thing.
Yeah.
College football.
All right.
So who are you rooting for college football?
Oh, I always root for Penn State.
Penn State.
Yeah.
So North Carolina, Penn State.
That's right.
Those are your teams.
Yep. Football, Penn State.
Yeah.
Basketball, North Carolina Tar Heels.
I'm all Iowa State.
Football and basketball.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mhm.
How's Iowa State looking this year at football?
They played North Dakota this past week and they won like 21-3.
Okay.
So, but they play Iowa this week and Iowa's like 25th in the nation. So,
Ooh,
Yeah.
in-state rivalry.
yeah,
Iowa State, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I saw Iowa won pretty big,
yeah,
which I think they shut somebody out,
yeah. I
if I
don't
remember
know.
right. And
I
they
just
scored
know
lots
they
of
won,
points,
yeah.
which Iowa very seldom scores lots
Yeah.
of points. So it'll be interesting. Yeah, that should be an interesting game.
Yeah.
And their former quarterback is back in action, right? Brock Purdy,
Oh yeah, for the
49ers.
49ers. Yeah.
So it'll be fun to watch him, see what he
Mhm.
does this season. So, and
Yeah.
the 49ers are looking strong. So
Yeah.
they should have a good year. So, anything else?
No, I think we said everything.
All right. It was good having everybody join us today. Hopefully you learned a little something, got caught up, and got more familiar with our fall sports teams here at Shalom. Thanks for joining me, Jack. It's a lot of fun. We hope to be back here. Our goal is to do it weekly. We'll see
Yeah.
how it goes.
Mhm.
But
Wednesday's an easier day. Wednesday's an easy day
Yeah.
to do it because, like Friday, we don't miss because
Yeah.
of like.
and having
holidays.
the morning, doing it first thing is good as well. So thanks again for joining us, and we hope to see you again soon.
Thanks for listening to the Shalom Sports Podcast. If you enjoyed today's content, please hit the subscribe button. That will notify you of future content.
All right, man. Thanks a lot.